Alright, today I'm going to show you how to install the lead sled gear jammer kit. Over here is the parts that you'll be getting with the kit. You'll be getting your clutch cable bracket, your clutch cable clasp, your shifter arm with the shoulder bolt, the linkage, and your top motor mount. And these are just a bolt-on kit. The only thing you have to customize is your own clutch cable, and you'll be utilizing the shift lever from your forward controls. These kits only work with a forward control, but you could probably customize them to make them work on a jockey shift. The kit also comes with all your hardware that you need to bolt all this stuff together. So you want to start out by pulling your peg off. Pull your peg holder off. Then you'll want to take your shifter linkage off here. At this point, you can just lay your shifter linkage down here. We'll be coming back to that in a few. But right now, you want to go ahead and take your clutch or your shifter lever off. You want to measure up from the casting there 1.5 inches. You want to drill and tap a 1/4-20 hole. Now what we like to do is not go through to the other side, but you need to make sure you drill and tap it deep enough to where this shoulder bolt will at least go in and bottom out. Then what we suggest doing is just taking a saw, trimming off that little shift linkage arm there, and just kind of smooth the bottom of it out. So after you've done that, got your hole drilled, simply slide it back on there. And at this point, you can go ahead and throw your peg holder bracket back on. And just make sure you still got play. All that's good. Then you're going to take your shift linkage, and you want to pull your 2 heim joints off of your shift linkage. Once you get those off, you're going to take our shift linkage rod, screw those right onto the ends. When you're finished with your linkage, what you want to do is simply turn your shifter arm upside down, and you can go ahead and tighten this back up. Then what I like to do is go ahead and put one side of the linkage on here. Go ahead and tighten that up. So now we're going to go up top here for the motor mount. Take the top motor mount bolts out. Now I've already loosened these back 2 bolts that hold your motor mount on, so that way you have some play here to get these bolts started again. So you're going to take the motor mount, the 2 bolts that come with the kit, bolt this top motor mount up. Then you're going to want to grab the shifter arm. This is the shoulder bolt, so it's just going to bottom out. So you're going to want to get that in and get it tightened really nice. Then there's a nut back here on this threaded stud. You're going to want to go ahead and put your linkage to your shifter arm on there. You're ready to shift. Now what we need to do is we need to move on to our clutch cable. We got to take the cover off. It'll vary on what year sports shoe you have. This has the big derby cover, which is really easy to get your clutch cable out. A little bit older models, they have the little inspection cover there, so you guys are actually going to have to pull your cover off, take the 3 bolts out of the inside, and kind of go through a little bit more of a process with this side cover, but it's really self-explanatory, and everything we're doing here is the same basis of what you need to do. Now at this point, what you need to do is you need to get your inner cable out of the sheathing, because you need to cut your sheathing to length, and obviously you can't cut your inner cable at the same length as the sheathing. So what you're going to want to do is cut the very end of your clasp off where it hooks to your clutch cable. You can pull your clutch cable all the way out. Now you're going to get your clutch cable bracket. There's 2 screws right here on the front of your primary. This bracket bolts right to that. Right here is the clutch lever adjustment. I would suggest running this all the way in, so that way when you put your clutch lever on, you can bring it down a little bit, and if it's a little low for you, you can always adjust this out and bring your clutch lever up some. With the clutch cable out of the middle of the sheathing, you can simply bring this up beside there. This goes in about 3/4 of an inch to where it bottoms out. So roughly, get a little bit of a bend in your clutch cable there. And you're gonna wanna cut it to length to where it'll fit up into that sheathing. So once you get it cut, it'll pretty much look like so. Now you're gonna put your clutch cable back into the sheathing. So then what you need to do after you put the cable back in, you need to put your clutch cable adjuster back on, because we need to get the clutch adjusted where it needs to be before you actually cut the cable in the middle of the sheathing. At this point, your clutch cable, is going to be pretty long. You want to bring it back up, stick your clutch cable through the middle, put your sheathing in, and remember your clutch is adjusted where it needs to be right now. So at that point, grab your clutch cable clasp and screw it on to your clutch lever, so that way you can get an accurate measurement of where you need to cut your clutch cable. I simply hold it up next to clutch cable clasp, draw a line out with a marker, bring it down, simply cut it off. It's a little bit easier to pull this, your clutch cable clasp off. Slide it up on your clutch cable. And what you can do is just pull this set screw out and actually physically look in there and make sure that you're pushing it up far enough to where the rear set screw is actually pinching on the cable too. Tighten those up really well. Then what I do is put the shoulder bolt back in here. Just make sure you don't cross thread anything. Sometimes it's a little easier to go ahead and put the Allen in it so you can kind of finesse it to the angle it needs to be. Tighten your shoulder bolt up. There you go. There's your clutch. And your shifter. All installed.